afternoon. This is Terry from the Frugal Connection. Welcome to my kitchen. I love chai tea, but it can be pricey if you go to a coffee shop to get it. Also, you get added sugar in it. Lots of times they may not have a milk option that I prefer. I eat a plant-based whole food diet, so I don't eat dairy food. And so sometimes some of the coffee shops I go to, they don't always have an alternative milk for me. So I want to show you how quick and easy it is to make your own masala chai tea at home. So what I'm going to start with here is 2 cups of water, which I'm going to add to my saucepan. And now I'm going to just add some spices into this. What I'm going to add is 2 star anise. I am going to add 2 cinnamon sticks. I'm going to add some cardamom pods, and I have about, I think I have about 10 here. So I'm going to add those in. I have about a half a teaspoon of fennel seed, which I'm going to add in. If you don't like the taste of fennel, you can leave that out. I have 8 whole cloves that I'm going to add. Actually, I have 10 whole cloves that I'm adding to that. Now, I did not have, or I'm sorry, that was not cardamom pods that I added to the mix here. I added whole allspice. So those are in there. And I wanted to add 2 whole cardamom pods, but I don't have any. I just have cardamom, ground cardamom. So what I'm going to add is a half of a teaspoon of this. I am going to strain this mixture out through a cheesecloth, so it doesn't matter that I'm using the ground cardamom. So I'm going to add that into my pot. I'm going to add, I had about I guess it was a 2-inch slice of fresh ginger that I sliced, and I'm adding that to my pot. Normally you would add a couple of whole black peppercorns. I didn't have them, I can't get them out of this jar, it's a grinder. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to just give this about 5 or 6 grinds into my pot. Yeah, actually I'm going to do a little bit more. If you have access to whole peppercorns, you're going to just basically add about 4 to this pot, 4 to 6, depending how spicy you like it. Okay, that's it. I am going to put this on the stove. I'm going to bring it to a simmer, and then I will show you what the next step is. My pot is on the stove. I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to shut the heat off and let it steep for about 15 minutes, and then I will move on to the next step. All right, friends, this has been steeping for about 20 minutes now. I let it go a little longer because I was busy doing other things, including doing some meal prep for this week. And now what I'm going to do before I strain out any of this, I want to add my tea. And I should have mentioned at the beginning that what I'm making is a chai, it's not a syrup, like a chai tea without any milk or anything that I'm going to keep in my refrigerator, so that when I want a cup of chai tea, all I have to do is pour my cup of almond milk or oat milk or whatever plant-based milk I'm going to use, add it to the chai mixture, heat it all up, and then add whatever sweetener I want. But I can control the sweetener that way, because when you purchase chai tea, hot or cold, in a coffee shop or a tea house, it always comes loaded with sugar. And because I'm not eating any sugar, I want to choose the sweetener that I want to use in that, and I want to control the amount of the sweetener. So typically what I would use for something like this is a little bit of maple syrup. If I do use sugar, it would be just a teaspoon of it and not this huge amount of sugar that they put into things. Okay, so what I'm going to add to this is I am going to now add in, I have a good quality English breakfast tea that I purchased, and I'm going to add in 8 heaping tablespoons of this. I'm going to bring it back to a boil on the stove, and then I'm going to shut the heat off, and I am going to let it steep for another 10 to 15 minutes. I think that's 4. 5, 8. Okay, I can't count and I can't talk and do something else at the same time. If you don't have loose leaf tea, you can use tea bags. In this case, you would just use about 4 to, well, I would say 6 to 8 tea bags, depending how strong you want this. And just mix that in there and let it steep. Bring it to a boil again, let it steep after you shut the heat off. And that's it with that. Just strain out the spices. In this case, I'm using loose leaf tea. So once this has steeped, I'm going to heat it back up on top of the stove, bring it back up to a simmer, and then shut it off and let it steep for about 15 minutes. And then I will meet you back here to make the cup of tea so you can kind of see what we do with this to make it work. So I'll see you soon. All right, friends, I just pulled my crackers out of the oven. I was doing a whole bunch of other projects around here while I was waiting for that tea to steep. But basically, this is what I would do. I like just a splash of almond milk in my tea. So I am going to actually take this pour my almond milk in. All right, this looks good. Smells great. So all I'm gonna add is just a teaspoon of maple syrup. It's not enough maple syrup to give it a maple flavor at all, but it's enough to give it a little bit of sweetness. So I'm not filling up with sugar because I could not even believe it. I looked it up one day, and the chai lattes you get in a coffee shop have probably close to 1/3 of a cup of sugar in them. Crazy. So that is really tasty. That is very good. I did take some of it out because I realized I made a lot and it was more of a concentrate. So you really only need a splash of the chai tea in your whatever milk base you want. So anyway, I hope you give this one a try. It's very tasty, it's very good. Again, if you don't have loose leaf tea, you can just use plain black tea bags and then just whatever spices you have on hand, whatever warming spices. So I used cardamom and star anise and cinnamon, allspice, like whole allspice, black pepper, ginger, and it came out terrific. I love it. It's very tasty. It's going to get me through. I've been up since 3 a.m. I just could not sleep last night. I woke up and could not get back to sleep, so I finally got out of bed and gone on with my day, went to church this morning, and then I've been doing projects in the kitchen this afternoon, but this is going to help keep me going for the rest of the day. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video.